Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Marilyn Darling Show. And welcome to another episode of Fountain Pen Calligraphy 101. Today we are looking at the Majuscules alphabet. So, we have our pen. And, okay, good. We have our pen. We have some ink. And we're going to take a look at the Majuscules. But first I'm going to see if there's anybody that wants to come in. So if you guys are following along, you should be able to make most of the lowercase letters. And today we are going to look at some of the capital letters. And if you're interested in what I'm looking at Mastering Copperplate Calligraphy Step-by-Step Manual by Eleanor Winters. These are just some of her recommendations. If you want to buy the book, you can do so. I believe they sell it on Amazon. Great book. Highly recommend. Alright, so we're going to start off with the universal line of beauty. The universal line of beauty is a line that goes, so we're going to mark off our X height. Goes from the top of the line, and we're going to say that so we know that this is the baseline, this is the first quarter, this is the X height, the first ascender, and the second ascender. And that is all of this is in this little space here. Okay? So, I'm so terribly sorry, my throat is just being really cough-like right now. Alright, so we have our paper. So here we are. We have our paper, and it's angled so that it's pointed towards our shoulder. And I'm going to zoom in so you guys can see exactly what I'm doing. Alright, so the universal line of beauty is a line that goes from here to here in the downward direction, and it has the ever so slightest curvature to it. Just the ever so slightest curvature. And in the middle, from the 3/4 height to the 1/1 quarter height, is a swell. So we're going to swell, and then we're going to release, and then the rest of the letter is going to be monoline. So monoline, flex, monoline, out. Okay? So you want to practice going from thin to thick, back to thin again. Thin to thick, back to thin again. Thin to thick, back to thin again. And you want to keep the largest part of the swell on the X height. Okay? And we're going to start adding in a little hat, swell, and an exit. It's kind of look like just a ever so slight of an S, but it's not an S. Okay, that is the universal line of beauty. Why do we need the universal line of beauty? Because it creates a lot of the letters that make up some of the capital letters. For example, it starts the letter A, and you can even make the universal line of beauty come up, around, and do a spiral in. Let's drop 2 down, mark off our X height. I'm gonna do a universal line of beauty, and then into a spiral. Excuse me for just 1 second. Alright, so universal line of beauty. Start, come down, swell, up. Alright, so the first letter that we're going to focus on is the letter A. Let's do the basic strokes first. The second is the O form. The O is a giant oval. It's shaded on one side and should start at the 3/4 height, come up, around, down, flex, and then let off. Then is the nearly vertical swelled stroke. So we're gonna start up at the top, swell, and we're gonna do kind of like the opposite angle of the universal line of beauty. Alright, then we're going to do the lead in stroke. Lead in stroke starts at the top, and it's basically a spiral in. Or you might spiral out. Alright, then there is the loop. Drop 2 down, mark off the X height. We're going to start at the 3/4 height. We're going to come up light. We're going to come down hard. We're going to touch that X height and come up like so. So you should be able to do a reverse spiral and a lead in stroke. They should all lean on the 55-degree angle. Alright. Then we're going to do the press and release lead in stroke. So we're going to basically make a miniature compound curve. Alright, the next one is the horizontal lead in strokes. They start by going to the second ascender, so baseline, first quarter, X height, first ascender, second ascender. We're going to start just below the second ascender, and we're going to loop up to the second descender. We're going to go down just past the first descender. And we're going to come back up to the second ascender. The next one is we're going to do kind of like a compound curve. Okay. Alright, then we start with the letters. Let's drop 2 down, mark off our X height. We're going to practice, then they have the reverse universal line of beauty, which has no swell because it's going in the upward direction. Okay. Then we have the reverse oval. So let's do it. Let's make an A. We're gonna make an A by making a reverse universal line of beauty, and then we're gonna do a hard downstroke, and we're gonna do a little loop and through. So reverse universal line of beauty, down, up, and through. The B is a universal line of beauty and a reverse oval and a bowl, another reverse oval. We're not going to finish it because we're just going to stop right there. A C is kind of its own little stroke. You can go a spiral out, or you can do a horizontal. You can do this stroke into an oval. You can do a horizontal oval into a vertical oval. So horizontal oval into a vertical oval, and then spiral in. Drop 2 down, mark off your X height. The D is a universal line of beauty and a really large reverse oval. Okay. The E is a spiral out, a loop, and a spiral in. I'm busy. F is, you're gonna either the spiral way, or you can do a horizontal oval into a spiral in and a spiral out. Okay, so most of them kind of look like this. Okay, and F is a universal line of beauty and a reverse oval. Alright, let's drop 2 down, mark off our X height. The G is we're going to make a horizontal oval into a vertical oval, just like we did with the C, only after that we're going to do a descending stem loop. So we're going to start just below the second ascender, do a horizontal oval into a vertical oval, When you do your vertical oval, make sure it's on the 55, and then from here you're going to do a hard downstroke, let up, and into a descending stem loop, and an upstroke. H is you're going to do one of these little things. You're going to do a press and release, or miniature compound curve. And then from there, you're going to go into a kind of a reverse underturn. And you're going to do a little dollop serif. And then you're going to make a curve in, and then we're going to do like the A, we're going to do a loop and through. Another way to do the H is you can do compound curve, loop, up, around, down, and up. So it's almost one continuous loop. The I is either one of these little compound entries like this, or we're going to do a reverse spiral up to the second ascender, and then we're going to do a universal line of beauty right through that hole, and we're going to do a little dollop serif at the end. So it should look like something like that. Okay. The J is basically a larger version of the I. Drop 2 down, mark off your X height. We're going to start from behind. See that here is the path of your J. You want to start behind the J. Come down, touch the baseline, go up, come up to a point, and then press and release into a descending stem loop, and there is your J. So you're basically making a teardrop shape. And the same with your I, you're making kind of a teardrop shape. Alright, the K is probably one of the most confusing. We're going to do one of these little bits. We're going to do a compound curve into a leg with a little dollop. We're going to come just below the second ascender. We're going to start about a space away. We're going to start at like just right below the second ascender. We're going to go up to the second ascender, come back down to the X height and in, and then we're going to come out from here, and we're going to come out and then down, little press, let up into an underturn, and then come back up to the X height. So it should look like that. Okay. Now, the L is kind of its own thing. We're going to start at just a hair below the second ascender. We're going to come down to the X height. We're going to go back up to the second ascender, make a bowl, come universal line of beauty down, make another little loop, and then kind of this type of a connecting stroke, but on the baseline. So when you're doing it, it should look kind of like that. It should be thick from the first quarter height to the 3/4 height, or the first ascender. Okay. drop 2 down, mark off your X height. The M is kind of like this here leg, but in reverse. So we're gonna make a reverse universal line of beauty up, and then we're gonna do a swell stroke. So we're gonna come a straight swell stroke. We're gonna go thin to a thick, back to a thin, and then we're gonna do another reverse universal line of beauty, and then we're gonna do a straight swell stroke into an underturn. So we're gonna go straight, swell, let up, underturn. Okay. You can also do a hump. You can go into a leg, into a leg, into a leg, and an underturn. Although this is more of a cursive M than a copper plate or calligraphy M. Okay, the N is kind of a difficult letter to do, so I'm gonna try and show you the best that I can with the tools that I have. You can see the lines? Okay, you can see the lines now. So the N is, you're gonna make kind of this letter. You're gonna come around and up on the 55. You're gonna make a swell stroke down, and then you're gonna go back up on that 55 and curve out. Okay, so circle up and then swell stroke and out. Having these guidelines is really helpful when you're trying to figure out how thick a letter should be. Okay. The O is, you're going to start at the 2 o'clock mark, come up, come down, and up, and in. Oops. Okay. The other way to do an O is you're going to do a horizontal oval into a vertical oval into a spiral. So we're going to do up, around, down, up, and spiral. Okay. The Q is kind of the same thing. We'll go down here. Actually, we'll just go right here. Well, the Q is, you can either go and then do a little wavy bit like that. Oh dear. Okay. Or you can do the number 2 Q, as I like to call it. You're going to start up, around, down, and then out. So, press, release, up, press, release, down, out. R is a universal line of beauty down, ball serif, reverse oval, press here and press here between there and there, and then we're gonna come out, down, and up, just like we did with the K. The S is another one that's kind of its own little thing. We're going to go from the bottom and we're going to make a compound curve up. We're going to come around and we're going to come back down towards this, where this is. We're going to press, release, come up, around, and spiral in. Okay. So that should look like that. T is pretty easy. We're going to make a universal and a beauty. Ball serif. And then we're going to make the same as the F. Up, around, and a little hat. But no cross in the middle. Okay. Let's move forward. The U is a very interesting letter because it starts as a reverse oval into an underturn. So we're going to do kind of like we're doing the B, but when we get to here, we're going to stop and we're going to go into an underturn. And then we're going to do another underturn. Okay. The V is, remember how we did on the H and the K? We did the little compound curve. So we're going to do a little compound curve and then into a straight swell stroke. And then we're going to come out and up and around. So and there is kind of a little wiggle in here, just a little one. Something like that. W, let's drop 2 down, mark off our X height. W, again, is going to have this little compound curve into a leg. A little wiggle. We're going to come straight up. And then a little wiggle down. And then we're going to cane it. We're going to make a reverse cane. Kind of like this here. Takes a little bit of practice. Right. X is X is a very interesting letter. It starts off with the first ascender down to the X height, up to the second ascender, all the way down to the baseline. So a reverse spiral. And the second is you're going to go all the way up to the second ascender, and then light stroke, and then a little bit of pressure at the end. Another way to do the X is you're going to start just like you did before, but instead of stopping, we're going to come up and do it in one giant stroke. Okay. The Y is kind of like the U, except for instead of going into an underturn, we're going to go into a descending stem loop. So, let's drop 2 down and mark off our X height. So, we're going to do a U into a descending stem loop. Okay. And you should also have little triangle in here. Little triangle in here. Triangle should not go any higher than the first quarter height. So just keep that in mind. Okay, the Z is kind of like this first leg of the X. So we're going to spiral out. And then right here we're going to make a little loop, and we're going to go into a descending stem loop. And then an upstroke. Alright. Let's do the quick brown fox. Only in capitals, so... There we have it, ladies and gentlemen. The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. I think that was a pretty good beginning. Tomorrow we will talk about how to practice these things. These are probably not some of the best writing you've ever seen, but for $5, what do you want? I will be having a Zoom call on Saturday at 3 p.m. No, at 4 p.m. I'm sorry. No, I can't. Friday, if everything goes according to plan, Friday. I will be having a Zoom call. Zoom call at 4 p.m. And you guys can come and hang out and talk about calligraphy things. Ask questions, make comments, concerns, and then you can talk to other calligraphers too in the class. So, alright, that is all for today. I want to thank you all for watching. I hope that you guys enjoyed this one. I hope that you learned something. Please share this video, or don't share this video with your friends. But if you want to share this with your friends, please share the Patreon with your friends. So that way, they can come and hang out with us too. That is all for today. I hope you have a great day, and I will be back very soon with another video. So take care until then. Oh, I love you, bye!